Okay, let's factor this polynomial step by step. And factoring is such a fundamental skill, especially in algebra, but it's just, absolutely critical that you know how to factor polynomials. And just factoring in general is a huge concept. So, for example, when you're in elementary school and you're dealing with things like, let's say, little fractions like 3 over 20 plus 5 over 32. Well, the way we find the lowest common denominator is we have to use this idea of factoring. Okay, so uh, we do what we call a factor tree, and we from there we look at prime factors, and then we can figure out the answer. So this concept of factoring is critical even in elementary school, but when you get into algebra and beyond, it is just essential. It is a like one of the top skills you need to know is how to factor. And oftentimes, students struggle with factoring initially. Okay, yeah, because it could be a new topic, and you're like, well, there is a lot of things to know about factoring, but once you practice the right procedures enough time, it kind of clicks in, the light bulbs go off, and you're like, okay, now I know what I'm doing. So I'm going to give you a very nice procedure here to solve or to factor a trinomial or a particular polynomial like this. And we're going to do this here step by step in just a second. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is John. I'm the founder of TabletClass Math. I'm also a middle and high school math teacher, and over many years, I've constructed many online math classes. So if you want to check out my full math library, math courses, and my math help program, you can find the link to that in the description of this video. All my math programs are my complete full instruction. So I go far beyond kind of the tutorial videos that I do on YouTube. And also, if you want to pick up a set of math notes, you can find a link to those in the description of this video, or underneath this video, you should be able to see those notes as well. All right, so let's get into this problem. And there's different ways to that you can a math teacher can teach how to solve or how to factor this polynomial. Now, first of all, let's just get some terminology down right. So this is a polynomial, okay? It's definitely by definition a polynomial, and it happens to be what we call a trinomial, all right? So there's three terms, one, two, three, a trinomial, and that would be different than something like this. So we have 2x plus 1, and then we would have, say, 2x squared plus x plus 1. All right, let's just make another thing here, 2x cubed plus x squared plus x plus 1. All right, so just some terminology here so we get this right, because this does make a difference. This is referred to as a monomial. There's only one term, okay, here. So this is a monomial, but this is a type of polynomial. All of these guys here are polynomials. This is a monomial. This is a binomial, right? Like a bicycle, two things here. So monomial, binomial, and then this is a trinomial, three terms, and then anything above and beyond three, which is referred to as a polynomial. So this is not a trivial little thing that I'm kind of going over. It's important that you know this, because if I'm referring to a binomial, then I'm referring to a two-term polynomial. So when we have a trinomial, a polynomial that's a trinomial, we have certain factorization procedures. Okay, so first of all, when it comes to factoring, a little checklist here, right? Step by step. First thing you always do is to factor out the greatest common factor if there are such. Okay, so real quick, let's just do something. If I had 2x squared minus 4x plus 8, okay, is there a greatest common factor? Yes, there is. It's 2, right? So I would always factor that out. 2x squared minus 2x plus 4, okay? So I can distribute the 2 back in, and I get back to this. So you always want to factor out the greatest common factor if, in fact, that's the case. Now, when you do that, you look at what you're left with, and here I'm left with a trinomial. Now the question is, can I factor that trinomial? Well, that's what we're going to do here. Okay, so again, when I make my little videos here on YouTube, I really try to, give you, what you need to handle these kind of problems, right? So I'm not just going to teach you, I'm not going to just show you how to do one problem. I'm trying to give you the mechanics, the procedures to handle, various issues, okay? So we just can't look at this one problem in a vacuum. We're like, okay, here's how you do this. Good luck. That's not going to be enough. All right, so the first thing is there anything here, greatest common factor? No, there isn't. So now we are saying, okay, what are we left with? Okay, so what's going on here? Well, it's a trinomial. Okay, now here is the way I kind of like to teach it. Now, there's a couple different ways you can teach this, and you should know both methods. But what I like to do is I like to call this either a case 1 or a case 2 trinomial. You're like, that's interesting. What does that mean? Well, a case 1 trinomial is when there is a 1 in front of the squared term. Now, if you look here, I have this trinomial written in standard form, highest to lowest power, x squared, and then x, and then the number. Okay, so it can't be like 4x plus x squared minus 21. We have to put this in its correct order, standard form, highest to lowest power. So when you have it written this way, okay, and the coefficient is 1, in other words, it's x squared by itself, but really there's a 1 right here. I like to refer to this as a case 1. That would be different than a problem like this, 3x squared plus 5x plus 9, okay? This is different because the number in front of the x squared is something other than 1, okay? That would be a case 2, all right? So values that are other than 1 are case 2, and they're more involved. I will make a video separately on that. But before we can get into these case 2s, we got to master these case 1s, and they're actually pretty easy, okay? So again, a case 1 polynomial is where there's just a 1 right there. Okay, so knowing that, what do we do? Well, here is what we do. It's very easy, actually. Okay, so this 1, all right, and I want you to kind of get used to taking this number, that coefficient, and we're going to multiply it by this value. It's negative 21, right? So 1 times negative 21, let's write negative 21 right here. Actually, yeah, we'll do it right here. Negative 21. Yeah, we'll do it right here, actually. Negative 21. Now, what I want to do is, I'm going to erase this, actually. I'm going to erase this, and I'm actually going to put my negative 21 right here because I want to make this nice and neat so you can see what's going on. Okay, so negative 21. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write factors for negative 21. So what are numbers that, what are factors of negative 21? So you always want to do these in pairs and start with 1. So 1 times 21, just follow what I'm going to do here. 1 times 21, okay? Now you're like, I'm multiplying these here, okay? So these are, what I'm talking about, these are factors. So 1 times 21, a negative 1 times 21 is negative 21. A positive 1 times a negative 21 is also negative 21. You follow what I'm saying here? So I just want you to list the factors, okay? Now, what are other factors of 21? Of course, 7 and 3 and 7 and 3. Again, you're always going to write these things in pairs. So negative and negative, just like that. Negative 7 times positive 3 is negative 21. Positive 7 times negative 3, negative 21. So at first, you might be like, okay, that's a little confusing. Don't worry about it. Just follow this procedure like what I'm doing here, okay? Now, you're saying, okay, where does this get me? Well, where this is going to get you is the following, okay? You're going to look at this number right here, okay? This value in front of the x. Or what is that number? That's a negative 4, okay? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to look at our little factor pairs here, okay? And well, let's add these guys up. So negative 1 plus 21 is a positive 20. Positive 1 plus a negative 21 is a negative 20, okay? Negative 7 plus 3 is a negative 4, and positive 7 plus a negative 3 is a positive 4. So hopefully you can see where this is going, right? What I'm going to do is I'm looking for this right here, this negative 4, okay, this middle coefficient, and I'm going to go down this list, and I'm looking for that number, okay? I'm looking for negative 4 in my factors when I added up my factors. I see it here, okay? I see it there, negative 4, meaning that these two numbers, negative 7 and positive 3, are my factors. You're like, wait, what does that mean? Well, I'm going to show you. Okay, so here we know that a trinomial is going to factor like this. This x squared, you're going to have one x there and another x there. But what goes inside the rest? Well, a negative 7 right there and a positive 3. And you're done. You just factor that. Okay, let's just check our work. Let's multiply these guys together. That would be x times x is x squared. X times positive 3 is going to be a positive 3x. Negative 7, of course I'm doing the FOIL method, right? Negative 7 times x is going to be negative 7x, and negative 7 times positive 3, negative 21. Add all these together, I get x squared minus 4x minus 21, and that is my original answer, okay? So of course I could have had x plus 3 and x minus 7. Doesn't make a difference, but there you go, all right? This is the solution, case 1. I love this little procedure. Now you're like, well, that's kind of a lot of work. You know, my teacher taught me I could just kind of think of factors of this that add up to that. That's exactly correct, okay? And if your teacher, you know, you got a good teacher and they're teaching you the right way. But oftentimes, a lot of you out there need like a procedure, a step-by-step procedure, and this is an excellent procedure to handle these case 1. So here's the thing. If you see something like this, you're going to go to this number directly, okay? And then you're just thinking about its factors. If there's no way any of these factors, okay, of this number can add up to this middle number, then this thing is not factorable, okay? So just because you have a trinomial does not mean it can be factored. It could be a prime situation, all right? So hopefully you found this procedure handy, and not all teachers teach this, by the way, okay? I like teaching it because it's very good just to kind of have a concrete procedure. Again, when we're talking about polynomials, okay, we have to see what type of polynomial we have. First of all, you always deal with the greatest common factor. Then what if you have a trinomial that's left, you got to determine is it a case 1 or a case 2. If it's a case 1, we use this procedure, okay? And then of course, over time you can kind of use your other skills, okay? But factoring, you know, does require different techniques involved. But this one right here, you know, you can never go wrong if you just, in fact, you know, do this procedure obviously correctly. You can't go wrong factoring these case 1 trinomials. Okay, so hopefully you like this video and it's going to get you going or help improve your factoring skills. So if you enjoyed this, definitely appreciate a thumbs up. Also, if you're new to my YouTube channel, I've been on YouTube for many, many years. I have lots of videos and I'm posting new stuff all the time. So hopefully you'll consider becoming a subscriber. Again, if you want to check out my full instructional program, you can find a link to that beneath in the description of this video along with my notes. All right, so with that being said, I definitely wish you all the best in your mathematics adventures. Thank you for your time and have a great day.